Law number 7, the law of respect. And the law of respect says that people naturally follow leaders stronger than themselves. Now, we have to talk about this law. I have to admit to you that this is one of the toughest laws for me to teach. And the reason is because I had to be very careful. I want to make sure my heart is right toward you as I teach this law. Because if I do it correctly, you'll understand the law. If I do it incorrectly, you could be a little bit offended. And I don't want to offend you, so I hope to do a good job. Let me explain it this way. When I was teaching the law of the lid, I talked to you about the fact that if this is my leadership level, then my organization will be under that because my leadership is the lid that keeps my organization contained. Now that was a visual illustration for the law of the lid. Now I'm going to give you a visual illustration of the law of respect, going back pretty much to the same deal. From a 1 to a 10, let's say that I am a 4 as a leader, okay? In other words, a 4 is almost average, kind of an average, a little maybe below average type of a leader. Okay, but let's say I'm a 4 as a leader. What I want you to understand is that if I'm a 4 as a leader, not only will my organization come under my lid of leadership, but if I'm a 4 as a leader, the people that I have that are following me are going to be 4s, 3s, 2s, and 1s. This is where the law gets a little tough. If I'm a 4 as a leader, can I tell you who I don't lead? I don't lead 8s and 9s. 8s and 9s don't follow 4s. Never have, never will. And so if I'm a 4 as a leader, what I know is that the quality people that I really want to lead, the quality people that I'd really like to take on this trip with me are going to be very scarce because 8s and 9s just don't fall in lines to follow 4s. And the reason why, just to be honest with you, is 8s and 9s are better leaders than 4s. And can I tell you something about leadership? Better leaders don't follow worse leaders. It's a little tough, isn't it? It's a little tough in light of the fact that a lot of times as 4s, we want 8s and 9s to respect us. Now, remember, I'm teaching on the subject of leadership. An 8 or 9 can respect you greatly as a person of God, or they can respect you as a wonderful person. You may be a wonderful friend of yours, but I'm talking about leading people. What I'm saying is that if I'm a 4 as a leader, I'm not going to have a lot of 7s and 8s and 9s following me. Only because the law of respect says that you don't follow somebody that's weaker than you. You follow somebody that is stronger than you. Now, let me encourage you. One of the reasons I love teaching these laws is because watch what happens. If I can take you from a 4 to a 5 to a 6 to a 7, do you see what I have done for the respect range that you have? And I like that phrase, the respect range. All of a sudden, as a leader, when I take you from 4, 5, 6, 7, all of a sudden 5, 6, and 7s start following you because you're a stronger leader than they are. Now all of a sudden we've lifted the level again. We've broadened out and widened out what I would call the respect range in your life. Okay, this is very key. Let me see if I can walk you through, and let me see if I can help you to gain respect in the leadership forum. The first statement in your notebook: people don't follow people by accident. Now let me just stop here for a moment. I know that there are exceptions. I suppose somebody follows somebody by accident. In fact, you probably have a live case that you could tell me about. But here's what I'm saying. Most people, if you come by, most people just don't get in line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where are you going? I don't know. Just following the line here. Very few people do that. And the people that do that aren't probably the people you need in your organization. Okay? So we don't need a lot of hut 2, 3 people. Okay, you got the point. When people respect you as a person, they admire you. When they respect you as a friend, they love you. But when they respect you as a leader, they follow you. And I'm talking about having them follow you. The more leadership ability a person has, the more quickly he recognizes leadership or its lack in others. Now, let me explain that. A good leader can walk into a room and size up the room very quickly. I don't mean this wrong, but if you let me come into a group of 50 of you and we got to interact for an hour, by the time the hour was over, I could walk out of the room and I could give you the 5 or 6 best leaders in the room. Leaders can figure this out. Now, non-leaders can't figure this out. So what happens is when a leader walks into your life, they very quickly size up in your life whether you're a leader or not. And they determine by their evaluation whether they're going to follow you or not. That's why the proverb writer said, leadership gains authority and respect when the voiceless poor are treated fairly. They watch your life and they make sure it's right. Now, how do you gain respect? And there are 6 things I want to give you here. How do you gain respect as a leader? Number 1, respect for others. I think this is very key. In other words, if I want to receive respect from you, I must give respect to you. I always watch, especially leaders or people in leadership positions. Now hang on. I always watch the behavior and the attitude of leaders that are over other people. I watch their behavior and their attitude to see how they treat people, quote, beneath them. You can tell an awful lot about a leader by how he or she treats people that are, quote, beneath them. I can tell you, I lose respect quickly when I think that a leader is so position conscious that he or she mistreats people below. Now, I'm not talking about how you treat people that you consider your equal or your colleague or people that are above you. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about how do you treat people that you can take advantage of? How do you treat people that you are over? Man, I've always said, I can tell an awful lot about a man by the way he treats his wife. I mean, I can tell an awful lot about the character of a person when you're around somebody that is not of the same advantage you are. I mean, do you bully them, or do you use leverage on them, or do you really respect them? Respect, I believe, from others begins by respecting other people first. Number 2, success. Success will allow you to have some respect. In other words, people want to be on a winning team, and so therefore, if you've had some winning victories, they're going to want to follow you much more than if you've lost. I mean, let's put it this way. Here are 2 people up in front of you, and you can be on either team. One has never won a game, and one has never lost. Hello. Which team do you want to play on? Is anybody home? Success. I think number 3, faithfulness or consistency. I think we receive a lot of respect when we have just been faithful and consistent over a long period of time, and people know that they can rely on us, that we're going to be who we are through the tough times and through the good times. Faithfulness. I think respect is given, number 4, when we add value to others. I think that we receive a lot of respect when people look at our lives and they say, my life is a better life because of him or her. In our organization, the Enjoy Group, one of the reasons I think there's so much respect in the whole group is that I look at my team players and I know they've added huge to me. I know they have. I know that I'm much, much better off because they've come into my life. I mean, whether it's Bill and what he has mentored and taught me about God and about prayer, or whether it's Charlie, who absolutely helps me so much in writing and research and comes along with me and gives me thoughts and gives me ideas. Some of the things I'm sharing with you today are things that he has come alongside me and said, John, I think this will add to this lesson. Or whether it's Linda, my assistant, or the Enjoy team, Larry, who absolutely sets these conferences up, so all I have to do is walk out and sit down and drink water and enjoy my time with you. They add value to me. Now, I have a great respect for them because I know that I wouldn't be where I am without them. And I think they would, if you would talk to them, would say they have great respect for me because I've added value to their life. Now, you see, sometimes we think respect should be granted or given instead of earned. And we have to understand that we have to, through a process of time and through a process of right experiences, we earn respect. That's why, by the way, that's why I'm not into titles. That's why when people say, what should I call you? I prefer John, if you don't mind. So my mama called me when I was born. When I came out of mama's womb, she didn't say, well, Dr. Maxwell, how are you today? No, she just called me John. She said, he looks like a simple kid. I'll give him a simple name. And that's who I am. That's my name, and that's what I want everybody to call me. I don't want titles. I don't need all that stuff. Because I remember walking across the church parking lot one day with a pastor friend of mine, and a lay person, one of our members, came up and talked to me for a few minutes. I gave him a hug, and they left. And as soon as they left, my pastor buddy said, "Did you hear what they called you?" Now, I wasn't paying attention. I said, "No, what do you mean?" He said, "Well, they called you John." Well, I said, "That's my name." Hello, am I missing something? He said, "Where's the respect here?" He said, "Where's the respect?" They didn't call you doctor, they didn't call you pastor, they didn't call you reverend, they just called you John. And I laughed. I said, "Oh, respect isn't in a name. It's not in a title. The only people that think that respect is in a title are insecure people who need to go to a therapist. It's not in a title." Respect comes not from the title I have or the position I have. The respect comes in the value that I've given to you. Now, I told my buddy to kind of ease his heart. I said, now, if that member would have called me Ralph, I wouldn't have even stopped. I keep right on going. I don't answer to Ralph. But this area of respect, I mean, it's not in the title, it's in the value that we add to others. Number 5, our leadership ability gives us respect. People respect us when we show ability to lead successfully. Again, I'm going to increase your respect if I can increase your level of leadership. Now, there's one more that I want to give you, and I kind of saved it to last, not because it's last. Saved it last because I want to talk to you for maybe 5 minutes about it, and that is courage. Respect comes when a leader shows courage. You say, John, what do you mean by that? What I mean by that is that in any leadership area of our life, there are times that we're going to have to exhibit courage to where our people know that we either said something that we probably didn't want to say but needed to say, or we did something that we probably didn't want to do but needed to do. And they begin to respect us out of the fact they know that now we're not self-serving, but we're really going to lay our leadership on the line.